all you need to know. The Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning and welcome to this daily morning podcast from Bloomberg Quint. My name is Neeraj Shah and let's get started with the biggest news of the day. US President Donald Trump signed a partial trade deal with China on Wednesday that takes steps to root out several practices by Beijing that has irked the White House and members of Congress from both parties. The deal commits China to do more to crack down on the theft of American technology and corporate secrets by its companies and state entities. It binds Beijing to avoid currency manipulation to gain advantage and includes an enforcement system to ensure that promises are kept. The deal also details a $200 billion increase in Chinese purchases of US goods over 2 years. Both the dollar and the offshore yuan had modest reactions, and the US markets reacted mildly to the deal signing, with the Dow crossing the 29,000 levels, but ended the day much lower than the highest levels of the day. Back home, India's trade deficit narrowed more than estimated as imports declined for the seventh straight month. The gap between exports and imports was at $11.25 billion in December compared with $12.1 billion in November, as per the data released on Wednesday by the Commerce Ministry. Manufacturing industry signaled a modestly brighter outlook towards the end of 2019, with the Purchasing Managers Index rising to 52.7 levels in December from 51.2 a month ago. In corporate news, Jet Airways has received expressions of interest from two parties till date, according to two people privy to the development. South American conglomerate Synergy Group has submitted interest for the second time after an earlier attempt to bid had failed. The second is from New Delhi-based Prudent Asset Reconstruction Company, the people who had cited earlier said. The Committee of Creditors will now assess the expressions of interest and determine a provisional list of prospective bidders by the 18th of January. Financial creditors have claims worth over 36,000 crores against Jet Airways. Remember, this comes a day after we learned how Qatar Airways, the Doha-based carrier, is ready to buy as much as Indico can give them, as per their CEO. In personal finance news, if you will, the Reserve Bank of India has introduced new rules to try and improve the security features associated with credit cards and debit cards amidst the rising instances of fraud. In a notification on Wednesday, the Reserve Bank said that banks and other card issuers will have to ensure that new credit cards and debit cards issued are automatically enabled only for domestic transactions at the ATMs and the point-of-sale terminals. Customers who want to use their cards for online transactions, international transactions and contactless transactions will have to separately opt in for these services. Well, let's hope that all of these measures help in reducing the frauds, which are now all too frequent. Asian markets have seen muted gains on Thursday, this morning, after the signing of the partial trade agreement. The Nikkei, Japanese Nikkei 225, rose about 0.12% after the first half hour of trade, while the Topix index was fractionally lower the last time I checked. In South Korea, the Kospi index traded flat and the SGX Nifty is indicating a mild open. It's over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup in India. Good morning, Darshan. How's it looking?
Hi Neeraj, good morning everyone. The global cues are muted at this point of time and the SGX Nifty is also indicating the same. But in terms of results today, Tata Metallics, Karnataka Bank, South Indian Bank, Rallis, Hathway Cable, Asahi Industries, Aditya Birla Money and 5 Paisa Capital will come out with their results today. In terms of results announced yesterday after market hours, Sterlite Tech, the revenues were down 11%, EBITDA was down 16%, which means margin at 20% versus 21%. The net profit was down 68% due to an exceptional loss of 51 crores. The exceptional loss is following the company's application to resolve legacy dispute. The management has indicated that revenue and absolute EBITDA will improve sequentially in the fourth quarter. Den Networks revenues up 3%, EBITDA up 21%, margins at 18% versus 15.6%. The margins expanded due to lower content cost and placement fees. There was a net profit of 19.4 crores versus a net loss of 32 crores last year, and that is due to higher other income this time around. Plasti Blends, the revenues were down 4%, but the EBITDA was up 66% and the net profit doubled. The margins expanded due to lower other expenses and raw material costs. Tinplate revenues down 15%, EBITDA up almost 4% due to lower raw material cost, and profit was up 28% due to deferred tax reversal. In terms of stocks to watch, DFM Foods, there was this big block deal that happened in the special window pre-market opening, in which the promoters and other shareholders have executed the transfer of their shareholding to AI Global Investment. Now, AI Global Investment is a subsidiary of US PE firm Advent, and they have acquired 2.71 crore shares, which is 54.13% stake in the company. HSBC Bank, Jwalamukhi Investment, and the promoters were the sellers. Jet Airways, in which the South American conglomerate Synergy Group and New Delhi-based Prudent Asset Reconstruction Company have submitted EOIs. Interglobe Aviation will be in focus. Bloomberg reports that Qatar Airways CEO has said he will buy as much stake of the company as possible, so that probably will be in focus. Gati was up 6% yesterday. All Cargo Logistics acquired 7 lakh shares in the company. Tata Global Beverages, in which Paradise Global Small Mid Cap Fund sold in almost 33 lakh shares. In terms of brokerages, Nomura has raised Dr. Reddy's target to 34.37 from the earlier 3200, maintaining a buy. After the big rally that we saw in the gas-based companies, CLSA today has raised IGL's target to 540 from 510, MGL to 1425 from the earlier 1380, and Gujarat Gas to 315 from 270. And finally, IIFL in a note has said that Hindalco's Aleris acquisition probably will be delayed. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website, BloombergQuint.com, and click on the All You Need to Know tab, and you will be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks for that, Darshan. And here's hoping that Jeff Bezos is prophetic, because he did predict that the 21st century will be the Indian century. Have a great day, everyone.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.